What's up, everybody? It's me. It's RDV. I'm back here with Eric Breen. What's up, sir?
On Thursdays, I go by not Zach.
Not Zach.
Yes,
I mean, I go by
or
that every day.
I'm Zach's placeholder.
Zach's placeholder.
Yeah, like an award show, I'm the seat filler.
Sorry, I couldn't be here. I give you this nice little video right here, and that's it. Recorded video. That's it. The acceptance speech. I love that. But I wonder if they inform you that you won weeks ahead, so you record that, or do they have people just pre-record it in case they win?
Oh, by the way, you were talking about Timeless Tony Storm a minute ago.
Yeah,
I saw the contract signing, and more Mariah May in that black dress, please.
Yes, please, yes.
Jeez, jumping Jehoshaphat, she's hot.
Yup. Yeah, I watched about 3 nights of wrestling.
I gotta tell you, the inning just ended. So the way they went to commercial was like when you turned off an old TV, the picture would just shrink to nothing.
Yeah,
that's how they did it. Yeah, just like closed up. Like that, I said that was a blast. Good for Fox Sports for doing that.
Right. Well, that's how the cartoons would do that. Yeah, and then you see Bugs Bunny stick his head through the window, the hole. He's like, "Hey, we're not done yet," Or
it looked like when your TV was breaking.
Yeah,
in the old days when the picture tube would just
and they'd have a little flash in the middle.
Yeah,
it was great.
Very, very nice.
Now and then when they're done with this, it's got to go now for the national anthem. Plays it and then it goes beep, snow. Like at least doing it back in the days.
I'm old enough to have seen plenty of days end like that.
Yeah, yep. It's one of my favorite movies, Near Dark, with Bill Paxton. As that they're watching in the background, you can they're at the motel, and then it's like midnight. He's like, "Oh, what a rip!" It's like I want to watch more TV. But
the Fantastic Four, when they brought the Impossible Man back,
yeah,
he got addicted to television. And they did a scene where he was watching when it went off the air and he threw a tantrum because he couldn't watch any more television.
Well, yeah. There were limits back then.
Yeah.
And there was no internet to stream things. And especially in the early 80s, actually for most of the 80s, VHS was until just on the cusp of going into the 90s?
No, I remember making a lot of VHS tapes in 87.
Okay,
so and they've been around for a while, but at the time, the recorders were expensive as all get out, and I had one, but I would borrow a player from our AV company that serviced the hotel where I worked.
Yeah,
and I would hook the two of them together, and I would just pop in tapes and record and copy them. But back then, they used to copy guard VHS tapes.
Oh, I do. I remember that.
You couldn't.
Yeah. That was I remember that was Blockbuster was doing that. I remember that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because we'd copy them, we'd rent them, and then we'd copy them. So I said, my dad's like, well, why not? Why should I just keep renting it? And I can just rent it once for whatever the price I'm paying. Basically, back then, I think Blockbuster was the price of basically buying a brand new VHS at the time.
Well, at that time, VHSs to buy before they started selling them, retail.
Yeah,
would run about $90. So and that was it. It was just obviously cost prohibitive.
Yeah. So my parents had that. They had all the Maxwell tapes and then the Toshiba and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maxwell. Miramax.
I remember them all.
Hey, that's how I watched Ghostbusters and Voltron for the first time because my dad recorded them on VHS. I'm like, double feature on this and the Maxwell tape VHS. That was sweet because he recorded an SLP. And he's like, why would I record anything but SLP? I get more out of the tape.
I used to record tons of TV shows, and I would take great pains to not record the commercials.
Yes.
But on the few times that I did, I'm now glad. Well, I don't have a VHS player anymore, but
yeah,
I thought because now I wished I'd kept the commercials in all of them.
Yeah,
sometimes those are more 30 years later, some of those were more entertaining than the shows.
So a lot of my stuff, like growing up, like as I was watching stuff, because like I said, like if I watch stuff, I watch it live. You know, even in the early '90s, you were still watching live because we had VHS players, you know, but like, you know, if we're fighting over who gets to record what at what time, because you program it and record before the DVR, so it's like, and the DVR is just continuing that now, the same thing instead of in a new format, and you're both fighting over who can record this at the same time. So
yeah, the best I was ever able to do was program the clock.
right.
I never could get the hang of programming the VCRs.
Geek Easy, I look forward to your review of that. You know, it's a brand new movie that just came out, Batman Begins, and I hear it's the beginning of a trilogy if it does well.
So is that coming back to theaters for a couple of days or something? Or
Ghostbusters was in June. I would imagine. I mean, there are summer movies they play every year during the summer. You know, I imagine that is. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Batman '89 in a theater. That'd be kind of cool. I've never seen that in a theater. But then again, there's a lot of movies
that was the movie. Before I began my Cal Ripken-like streak of not going to the movies,
yeah,
I saw Batman '89, and the next movie I saw in the theater was the first Avengers. So I went from '89 to 2012 without setting foot in a theater.
But you'd watch movies at home, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's not like you just cold turkey.
I had a huge movie. Hell, I had a four-figure movie collection before I went back to the theater.
Do you guys still got your VHSs? Did you get rid of your collection?
I don't have a lot of what I have on VHS tape are mostly like Carolina basketball games or like classic sports games that were rebroadcast. Because everything that I had as far as like movies, I got the actual thing, so I don't need them anymore.
I was taking my VHS and transferring over onto DVD. No, so yeah, my dad, he's the type of guy. He's like, you know, he worked hard for his money. He works 70 hours, you know, a week and all. He's like, I'm not gonna buy cheapy crap. You know, I'll pay more. You know, I'll look, and he does, you know, the Kelly Blue Book and all that stuff. He's like, I'm gonna get the top of the line whenever I can, you know, and he'd always get like the really expensive one, the Panasonics, because he found that that's the best brand that's out there right now, you know. So yeah, he would record stuff onto, you know, on VHS for us, you know, but he'd also record it onto DVD to transfer it. So I got like, dude, I got the original Charlton Heston collection of what's it called, Planet of the Apes. So then we got it transferred onto DVD from the VHS. So I have like two sets. I have a DVD and that, and then I think the last box set I ever bought for any VHS was Lord of the Rings. It's still sealed plastic because I figured, you know what, down the line it's gonna be so nostalgic. Sounds like, oh my gosh, it's still sealed. They're gonna want it. You know, it's Lord of the Rings.
There are people that will pay for sealed VHSs.
Yeah, as I've learned, you know. So I've never opened it, you know, and I believe it's extended cut too. So I don't. So I had it comes with a fourth action VHS.
More boredom for your buck.
With commercials, no. My dad would never record stuff. He didn't record off TV. He recorded from VHS onto VHS. You know, my dad was the thing. It's before live streaming and all, or you know, streaming stuff. My dad would do copy stuff. He'd rent a movie, and then sometimes he'd actually, if I wanted to see it, and I was like, because I was younger at the time. Remember, I'm born '85, so in the early '90s, my dad was like, "Here's Highlander," but he'd edit out the sex scenes. So I was like, so when I went to go finally got it, I'm like, why am I miss? I realized I was missing like a good 10 to 15 minutes. Like my dad was a professional freaking editor and stuff. I was just like, because this scene was, when I watched it the first time, I had no idea that was cut out. But oh my gosh! So when I went to go see it, I was like, holy, that's a lot of sex. I did not expect that. I mean, ironically, if you take it out, it doesn't change the movie at all.
It seldom does.
No, but yeah, that was fun. You know, I just, you know, talking about my dad, because obviously your dad's not around, neither is mine. So it's always good to talk about memories, because a lot of stuff I forget. until you mention it. It's, oh my gosh, I'm like, yeah, I remember this. I did with my dad. But what's up, Alfred Page? Seems like every time you're here, you're promoting a book that maybe you might have written or drawn.
See, I thought he was talking about the girl group from the 60s that had an album called Straight or Lame. It's actually one of my favorites. No one remembers them, of course, but I'm guessing that's not what he's talking about.
I know. I think it's funny because, like I said, he lists comments. I was like, "Are you getting this?" And it's like, and I look it up. It's like he wrote this, or he had participated, and it's like he's Who? No, that's a different, totally different band we're talking about. You know, the Guess Who, another band, great though. But we've talked about everything but comics for about 10 minutes now, almost 11.
That's okay, it's giving the audience a chance to take their seats, get their popcorn,
right,
their beverage of choice.
Yeah,
and now you can regale us with your.
Yeah. I gotta ask though, did anybody watch the Graphic Man's channel yesterday? I know, Eric, I saw you there, Maranya. That was the most weirdest thing I've ever gone into, because I was just like, he had Professor Pix on, and it was just like a focus on Professor Pix. I'm thinking, like, did anybody actually know who he is?
That's the thing. I think that was more of a something he did for himself, because it was so filled with in-jokes, that it's sort of like our readings. If you don't know us,
exactly,
it may not be for you, and that's probably why we don't get a ton of views all the time.
Sure.
But if you were in the know, that was fun.
Honestly, it was. And he wanted me to come on. I was just like, and I was there, and I was behind the stage, and he's just like, he messaged. I didn't realize he messaged me on Instagram because I was following my phone. He's like, oh, after we're done, he's like, you kept going off camera, and I was like, well, yeah. If you have, the whole bit is that I rise up with the box, but apparently you didn't get that 3-4 times, and I'm sitting there waving. Because he literally said, he's like, if I see you backstage, I'll let you on, and I'll be like, and friend, and so it was just fun. But it was like, yeah, Professor Pixel, this is your life.
Maranya, I doesn't sound familiar, but a lot of songs don't sound familiar until I hear them and go, oh, that's what that was.
That's my story of my life. I was like, I actually know that song because I've heard it at the store 30 freaking times, and then I finally figured out, oh, there's actually an artist behind that, that song. It's not just like made for generic. But
everybody say hi to the face that runs the place.
This just saying we got him. He's calling NASCAR right now. It is Zach. Well, how are the cars doing tonight?
I wear this so that I don't have to listen to you say anything about an echo.
Is that a Dick's Sporting Goods hat? Oh, it says Tigers.
No, it's LSU. It's the home team.
It's Tigers.
It's home team.
I'm just saying, you get the white shirt on, and you get the hat all the way up, so it looks like all you need is a beer in your hand, and you're ready for NASCAR.
It's not white; it's eggshell.
Press 1 if you want us to start covering NASCAR on this channel. We'll invite Paulo. We'll talk about auto racing.
Let's take that under advisement and then decide against it.
Sorry, Paulo. I tried to get you on another channel.
Well, you like Roundy Round?
Okay. Yeah, and like brief clips on Instagram, and then watching them, they had the military helicopters were flying around the circle too, and I'm thinking, like, what a waste of our tax dollars. These guys flying.
It'd be awesome if they started firing on the cars. That would be fun. Well, put a little Mad Max into it.
Well, that's what Death Race was. The Jason Statham and all stuff. They actually had obstacles. It was like the original Death Race 2000 I watched with Machine Gun Joe, played by the great Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone, and David Carradine there. Like it was Cannonball, but they were running over people and they got points. Like they actually at the nursing home, they pushed the old people out of the wheelchairs And then they counted how many people they hit. That's how many points they racked up when they're playing there. I was just like,
where do you think Grand Theft Auto got the idea?
I know. I just thought it was hilarious. But we got Jackson Raykirk says 1. So yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe we should start adopting the peanut gallery thing where we just have we stop and then reread and then we go. We'll be here for ages.
Yeah, we've
That's
got
not a good incentive.
We've got some place to be in an hour and 15 minutes, so maybe we should get started.
Alrighty. I'll get this going. All right. Number 9 for this week. It's Gun Honey. Great to look at. Okay story, but that's pretty much about it. That being said, there wasn't really much to complain about, about this book, so this isn't the worst of the week, so I still like it. And this is actually the interior artist doing a cover. This is cover D. So fun series. Oh, and my shop actually put it out there. I laughed because he put it in a bag and a board. I was like, it's about time we get this kind of service for new books. He's like, do you want your 20%? I'm like, I'm shutting up now. Number 8 for me for this week is Doctor Strange.
I thought you dropped that for some reason.
No, I did not. And I think Bloodhunt has made it better.
Nice.
Bringing back Victor Strange as his brother. So Victor, who eventually, I guess,
Doctor Strange has a brother.
Yes. Apparently, he became there. According to Jen McCasey, I don't know if it's a retcon, but he says that in this thing, he's talking to somebody in this mirrorverse. He's been trapped for a while, and we learn that basically that, and then later on through Wong, because Wong meets him, is that Victor sacrificed himself when he became a vampire, the little good of them, so he wouldn't hurt anybody. Basically, I don't know if that was true to that.
He was starting to lose control, and he was in a relation Morgana Blessing.
Yeah,
was letting him feed on her, and he just couldn't stop, and he ended up sacrificing himself before he turned.
Yeah, so there's a reference to that. Wong's basically been left in charge to basically watch what's left of basically Victor Strange, who's a vampire that was turned by a blade.
Right.
His astral form, it basically left with Clea to go trying to find a cure for his vampirism, try to reverse it. Well, Victor goes into the empty vessel, basically take over the body of his brother, and we get this really cool fight scene between him and Wong, who basically realizes he can't kill Victor, and his body can't stake him because he'd be killing Steven. But we do learn out basically who was talking in the Mirrorverse was Blade, but also Wong points out that actually talking to Victor here in the Mirrorverse, we learn that it's not Blade. Someone else has basically possessed Blade.
Wow, who didn't see that coming?
I know, right? Because Blade going full evil would be crazy.
Yeah, Alicia saw that. Matt saw that. Stevie Ray Charles saw that.
But yeah, like I said, he was pretty much going.
Helen Keller felt that coming.
So, who's Helen Keller?
Stick saw it coming too.
Didn't she have a book that she wrote, Helen Keller?
Do you not know who she was?
I know who she was, but I thought that she had even besides that she
did end up writing, but she was born blind and deaf.
Blind and deaf.
So here's kind of funny because thinking about it is like they went after Victor Stephen Strange so he couldn't cast a spell. They forgot about Baramoto. Literally, so Baramoto basically is looking for possibly might be the solution to this.
Kudos for them for not race swapping him. Mirror the MCU.
No, they don't do that. No.
Sometimes
that's the MCU does that. All right, number 7 for this week.
Fear Monarch is right. You always got to watch out for snakes.
Well, I mean, if they're Cobra Commanders, I don't mind. No, and I did get the connecting cover for this. So.
Oh, nice.
mainly because I had to get this because I'd have to label this. Otherwise, I would never know what the hell it is.
Yeah, there is no title on there, which I don't mind. But.
Which, yeah, true. But I mean, the other one I forgot the other one was Transformers. I was gonna put them on. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I gotta start putting sticky labels or sticky notes on the back of them. This was actually good. And the reason I'm gonna say was I actually enjoyed it because they actually had Cobra Commander in here too. A lot of talking, a lot. I mean, and I always thought they were good. This was gonna tie into the Scarlet, like the place where they're gonna have basically. Destro has takes over this this country, Draculon or whatever it's called, for butchering it. But anyway, and he invites all these armed dealers over here. Basically the whole giant arms deal. And I'm looking at the place. I'm thinking like, is this going to tie into the beginning of Scarlet Witch? Not Scarlet Witch, but Scarlet.
But Scarlet is in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember when she first began at the very beginning of her book? Remember she went to a party?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That was in Monaco.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember what it was, but you get the brothers here. Hans and Franz. No, just kidding. Basically, it was just introduction to everybody, and yeah, Destro. Also, I get a lot of action here, but I mean, it was fun. I gotta say that it was fun, and I love the fact that and Destro hates working with Cobra Commander. He's like, I must remind you, I do not work for you. This is a partnership. I'm supplying you, and then that's it. But yeah, so I mean, get to learn more about Destro. Apparently, he has a castle in the mountains that he goes and visits.
He's a Scottish lord.
See, I did not know that. And I kept thinking, like, oh, is he going to bring
Laird? Scottish Laird.
I would say it was like
I hate reading it.
it was like going into Camelot hidden. He's going to like revive the lords, because he had to energon with them. I thought, like, oh, he's going to bring them back to life, or something's going to happen. You find out they're Transformers, but yeah.
I don't think they're going to be Transformers.
I would have laughed. It's like they've been like ancient Transformers, but it was okay book. But in my opinion, so far this is a little bit better than Scarlet. But compared to the first two books, Duke and Commander, so far they're okay. They're not. But I prefer Duke and Cobra Commander more. But we'll see. Maybe it gets better. All right, number 6 for this week. It's just been fun. Wolverine and Night. I think her name's Night Hunter. Night Guard. Yeah. Basically, going after trying to find who's going after them. Which is obviously we learn it's Maverick, his old I guess Weapon X days teammate.
The X-Men that didn't take.
Yeah. And then he's basically been hired to capture Wolverine because they're working for Blade. This other girl, I forgot what her name is. It shows here, Alyssa. I don't know if she's in importance at all or she's a random vampire, but she wants to be queen of the vampires. So it sounds like there's already sex that basically don't care about Blade, and they basically want to rule. But Night Guard and Wolverine go and they rescue a bunch of humans that are being treated as cattle. Yada yada. We've seen this before with Oliver Queen going into the DC versus vampires, freeing humans from camps. They do this. They get Biker Dan helps them out. Biker Dan basically helps to lead the humans away. And like I said, it's Wolverine being Wolverine. It ends with your favorite. Vampires, they can swim in the water. Which I don't know if they're vampires then, because vampires, they burn in water.
Yeah, that's if it's blessed by a priest.
Can you imagine someone blessed?
But some lore you can't cross running water, so that's
yeah.
I guess it depends on what rules are playing by. But my observation is so far, you've shown 4 books. One of them has not had absolute shit art. And that's blood hunt. I mean, gun hunting.
I like Destro's art.
To be fair, some of the '90s books had bad art too, and some of the '80s had bad art too.
Don't take it as a personal attack.
I'm not. I'm just.
They're also way more expensive now.
Sure.
I mean, it's a shame that this industry won't pay talent.
Well, definitely. You're not going to see the likes of Gene Colan.
Those aren't good. I mean, fuck, I'd settle for some of the decent. Well, Jeff Johns took all the good artists with him.
That's what I mean.
True. He did take a lot of the good artists with him.
Okay, you're paying the same amount for red. Think of the art in Red Coat versus the art in Destro. It's not even the same. I mean, that's not even the same universe.
And that's Skybound.
And that's a shame. Yeah. Well, I said it's just it's unfortunate.
Boom Studios. I remember they're the one. I think they're the ones that discovered Dan Mora, because I don't know. I have to look back see what he was on before Buffy the Vampire Slayer in 2019. Because I think right after that he left that series and he jumped over to working. I think it was on Batman or something over in DC, and he's been there since then. But all right, number 5 for this week. Let's find this.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah, I kind of like the girls teaming up, and then you got the girl villains like you saw in like the cartoon series. I think it was the Batman series actually. They did that, and also the Batman Adventures. Obviously here's the original covering inside, but this was really cool. This is like this is Jimmy Olsen, like Silver Age craziness. Mixie Plitzek basically he doesn't want to die. He wants to leave, but in order to Robin's like, dude, you need to just distract this guy until Batman and Superman can come back, because Batman has a plan and all that stuff. So Jimmy Olsen is given the power of the 5th dimension. All of Mixie's powers goes into Jimmy. And this was just nuts. Zach, I mean, I'm sure you read this, but it was just, if you haven't, this is just awesome. I normally don't care for the Jimmy Olsen books in the Silver Age, but I mean, I in little doses, Jimmy Olsen having powers, is just kind of fun. Meanwhile, we get Batmite and then Superman are stuck in the 6th dimension. They come across different Batmans, future Supermans. I guess that's supposed to be the world of Superman imprisoned.
Maybe.
Because you read this, right?
Yeah. Okay. I read all my books.
Yeah, because he says, you look about my son's age. Jonathan is his name. He's like, son. Obviously, you don't know. They get Crypto. He sees the other Batmans, and then he said like this. I love this. You can get the ladies and gentlemen, you have eaten well. He's just geeking out over that. I love that. I Mark too. I love that scene. You're getting enough Silver Age humor in this, which keeps it kind of going. But then we get this crap in the middle. It's like it took up 2 freaking whole pages.
Well, can you blame them? I mean, they're going to promote the hell out of this.
Of course, yeah.
But
it is funny though, because somebody said he's like, "Wow, he kind of looks like Larry from Curb the Enthusiasm." He has him Mixie Plitzek as a human. Looks like Larry Elder.
Well, yeah.
Especially here.
Not Larry Elder, Larry David.
Whatever.
Yeah, I thought that didn't sound right. Larry Elder is the black conservative.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Larry Elder is the white, not conservative.
Yeah. and now you know why Zach had to point it out.
And one of them is funny. The other one's Larry David. Ah!
So, cool. Kind of cool, man. Here, I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know who Doc Bright is.
Mark Bright. He was an artist primarily in the 80s and 90s. He was, I think he helped co-create Quantum and Woody. He was a Green Lantern artist for a good length of time. He unfortunately died the day Ed Piskor killed himself, so no one remembered.
Oh, dang.
It was like, Aldous Huxley dying on November 22nd, 1963. Someone else famous died that day.
Jeez.
JFK, which kind of ate into Aldis's
It's
news,
like
obit space. The paper.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's like Liam Neeson. Every time I have a birthday, he overshadows me by having his own birthday.
Well, I share a birthday with Willie Mays. Think anybody remembered me? No.
But yeah, I enjoyed that book. I don't let you guys see the last page, when you read it. But number 4. This was just fun.
That's a fun cover.
Oh,
I
it is.
Almost bought that just for the cover.
I would buy that for the cover if they had that. Yeah.
Versus Venom in the Baxter building, because he wants to get that Purple Man wants to get that crystal, that prism that basically that Doom had him locked in, and I guess in the storyline, when Doom was trying to force his own order upon the world, his own, they think they show in the book actually, the callback to it. Yeah, right here.
Well, Fear Monarch, I'm sure if you had a band, I'd rather listen to you than the one whose birthday you share.
See, so basically this, Psycho Prism. I don't know if this is 2000s. Because it doesn't give me a little asterisk of when this happened. But do you remember that, Zach, at all? Avengers?
Nope. Does not be ringing a bell.
Oh, yeah, Emperor Doom.
Yeah, that's a oh god, what were those called? It was a Marvel graphic novel from the 80s. Mariah's a big fan of that.
All right. So I get Arthur Dearborn, which I don't remember who that is, but
what's Commissioner Gordon doing on that page?
No, that's Jonas Hale. I know.
And that would be pretty decent art if the industry still employed inkers.
Yeah. Who is doing the inking actually on this?
Because trust me, there'd have been a lot more bad art in the 80s and 90s if there hadn't been inkers.
This is Victor Nava. Gerardo Sandoval is the penciler. Gerardo. But basically, the Purple Man using his new abilities, amped abilities, because he's got a piece of the Venom symbiote on him. He's able to control the thing, recover the crystal. Only do we get Venom versus the Thing in a fight.
Nice.
I know, right? And
always love me some Thing representation.
So in the Baxter building, and this fits because the Thing is always destroying the Baxter building. So it fits.
No, enemies are always destroying the Baxter building because they attack where Ben lives.
No, we read these before. We read the original ones where it's not Johnny. It's usually the Thing because he doesn't like something that Reed's doing or whatever. And he's messing around with it. Oh, I'm fine, and he destroys it. He's pissed off. So, I mean, overall, I get that. Like I said, the nice little fight there, and then they leave. So, it's been fun. They even teased the Rhino, he's locked up right now in the vault. So, again,
that's supposed to be next issue. Yeah. That's a cool looking Rhino too. There's some good art for you, by the way.
Yeah,
that was a good looking book.
Like I said, that's a lot better than we got. I mean, I love Senior, but I love a bulked up Rhino like that.
Bulked, yeah. I don't like the ones that make him look too like robotic, like it's a mech suit. Like that one, that one kind of has it, but it's not enough to where it pulls me out of it.
Yeah. So, but now I'm feeling this, and surprisingly, Nick Lowe is the editor on this.
Well, even a broken clock can be right twice a day.
He's not. He's a Spider-Man group editor, but he's not the senior editor of this book. So basically, like the guy Jordan tells him to shut the fuck up. We're doing what we want to do.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm sure it does because these are throwback books and they have nothing to do with the crappy current Spider-Man.
Maybe.
That's why you get good Spider-Man, because it has nothing to do with what they've done to him now since.
Well, exactly. That's probably why this one got to be the way it is because there's that Nick Lowe, like him editing. Here's the extent of his editing duties. Hey, does this counteract anything we're doing with Amazing Spider-Man today? No? Okay. Have fun.
Number 3. Wrapping up the series for this, I want another volume. Damn, is this good. Bond being Bond flirting with one of the pilots that came here to help him. These guys basically, because he just got to basically take out the site with a bomb, and he calls it an airstrike to M. So they send her in, and he starts flirting her over the intercom. It's the girl that he actually had relationship with previous. And Moneypenny is on the other line too, so he's trying to be suave because he's got 2 women that he's been flirting with a lot. Back to being classic Bond, takes out the big dude from last issue, the big Russian guy, and he puts a knife through his stick, and the guy basically keeps coming after him with the freaking knife in his mouth, with his chin up. I love this, and that's classic Garth Ennis. You always got the big Rusky. I love it. And then as Bond's trying to get away from this, the other Russians come over and they're laughing at it because he's got the knife going through his chin. And Bond basically is just trying to get out of this. I mean, this guy is a nonstop. He's a tank. Meanwhile, you got the jets coming down, taking out people with the bullets, riddling them. The guy's gonna leap at Bond, and then the girl in the intercom, the fighter pilot, she's like ducked down. I was like, okay, and in classic fashion, like it is Garth Ennis, he gets cut in half.
Oof.
Yeah,
it's like that guy from Indiana Jones.
The propeller, yeah.
Mechanic guy, yeah.
Yeah. So they drop the bomb, and then thanks to a device he got from one of the guys who used to work as scientists on the thing, instead of being frozen in ice, he counteracts it with this device, and it turns it into water, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And then Bond already knows who it is. Like, the funny part is, like, you hear Moneypenny, and I believe it's not the Moneypenny. I think it was M mentioning, like, yeah, he's like, Bond already knows who it is. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, and he just goes after the guy, and then like the end, and that kind of wraps up with that. If you like Garth Ennis, you like a little bit gore. You like James Bond being James Bond, and not being a pussy.
It's a good thing that Danny Lore didn't write this, because the last scene would have had those two making out in the sand from here to eternity style.
Yep. But nope. It does go with a bang, though. I'll say that.
Zach, have you ever seen From Here to Eternity?
I've not, but I've heard of it.
That scene was considered very risque for its day. Burt Lancaster and Deborah Carr rolling around on the beach.
In the sand?
Yeah.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
I'm sure the post-scene time was.
Hope they're on a good part of the beach, not where there's like little pieces of driftwood and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Number 2. Worth the $7. Al Capone Vampire. Zach, you should pick this up.
Welcome to the club, Doctor.
Thanks, Doctor.
What's your vector, Victor?
Roger.
I was over under, and under was overdone.
3 stories in one. Kind of like I guess you'd say 2, because it feels like it starts off with a story, tells about the guy's great grandfather, this guy, this cop, and it talks about how his father, great grandfather, came to went to Chicago. He didn't know what he was going to do, but then he saw somebody being mugged, and that's when he knew what he was calling when he wanted to be a cop. And his partner was an Irishman, Neil Murphy.
Magora.
Magora.
That's the first thing that pops in my head every time. Yes. And of course, Mr. O'Leary, because there's so many Irish guys in this thing, tossing the apple as partners. They come across Al Capone, who at the point was not a gangster at the time, he was not the high honcho, was still right man for yeah. He was working for Dean. No. I think what was he? Was it Dean O'Bannon's boys, or was he on Johnny Tutorial? Or regardless, so it's old school, 1940s kind of gangsters. 30s.
Or probably late 20s.
Actually, yeah, you're right. They're late 20s. Tommy guns, shoot in the middle of the street. Cop gets involved. Cop pays for it. He gets shot. They go after his family. This guy grows up. And his father grows up without his parents being murdered, and his father ends up becoming an alcoholic and abusive. He's like, thank God, like my father didn't pass it on to me. And that's basically how he's telling the story how he's deeply he's a third generation connected to Al Capone and how he wants to nail him, and they're going to work together at the end. And then it cuts to another thing here in Chicago as well.
Another story.
It's black and white with a little bit of color.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Because this is actually leading into a really cool story. Captain Action versus Al Capone. Looking forward to that. Will this mean I saw Captain Action 1 at my shop? I was like, will that increase the price of that?
Let me consult the crystal ball. No.
Doubt it.
But now,
I just saw the thing about the Netflix deal with Captain Action. Yeah, you should totally.
I will say, I can overlook the fact that this art isn't. It's good. It's not. I mean, that's a stretch. But
it's Van Helsing art.
American mythology,
doesn't
have the pockets that Robert Kirkman does, or that Disney does. So that's I can accept this kind of art more readily on a book.
Well, I mean,
that small.
Who's left for Robert Kirkman to get as far as artists? I mean, they all went to Ghost Machine.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that were in the industry. Yeah. Like, what's Steve McNiven doing these days?
Yeah,
well,
probably making real money somewhere. But
I know he was. The last thing he did anything was with Ambassadors. Did he do not Ambassadors? No. It was Nemesis, the original one. I don't know if he came back for the sequel, did the art on that covers.
He did.
I didn't know that Mark Miller has him. So okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because they worked together on Old Man Logan and Civil War.
This was a really cool story. And I read a couple of issues of the original story. I guess this is the prequel, Breen, and I'm guessing.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever read of a Vampire PA,
I have read that.
Oh,
in fact, I think that last story where they're fighting to the death.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're actually in some kind of a relationship now. That's just like recalling the first meeting.
Yeah, it's the first meeting.
He says the woman I love is a vampire, so I think he is talking about her. And you never know it from that story, but the
blonde is actually is the girl he ends up with, I believe. This one here was
I think he's involved with the vampire that's trying to kill him now, because I think they reached an understanding.
Okay, because he kills her in this issue.
Yeah, she gets better.
Apparently so, but I mean the art we talk about. I don't mind him because he's playing Jane, but I love this. It's like Howard Prechter, how's it going? It's like those Geico, don't be your father, And
kids, you're never going to see anybody dressed like that in a Marvel or DC comic.
No. Basically, the guy, he works in heating and air conditioning in Pennsylvania. They're down in Miami for their every once in a while outing for early company outing. They go down to Miami and stuff this year, and he meets this hot girl, and he's like, "I'm just a guy from Pennsylvania. I'm boring as heck." And this girl is like, "Come back with the VIP part." And then they're like, and then she kind of like laughs. He's like, "I know this is wrong." She laughed at my joke. My jokes are bad. Girls never laugh at my jokes. And like, I love it. It's like, and she's like, "Why don't we just go outside?" He's like, "Oh, she's like, I love the place and just everything." He's like, his inner monologue. He's like, "There's red flags. I know I should be, shouldn't ignoring these." And then she's making out, and she goes to bite him, and then she bites his. She bit his watch because he put his arm up instinctively, and she broke her tooth. His watch. So now she's pissed. She wants to kill him. He's like, oh no, that's not what broke her tooth. It was the Captain America garbage can lid. He throws at her, hits her in the face, and I love it. He's like, I don't think I could recreate that throw, and my life depended on it. Now I think about it, my life depended on when I did it. Strangely enough, she didn't seem that impressed, with my moves, and yeah, she's like pissed. Like they're having those two are fighting. Everyone else and there's no idea what's going on. And they go. It takes them. They're fighting in the kitchen. Gordon Ramsay gets involved with this. It's just insane. It was Hell's Kitchen all over the night in Miami. Good art, man. He basically he kills her. Look, he basically Here's the hot babe. Not anymore. She gets staked through the heart. And the two other people that the girl he originally had the hots for, Dee, who was out there dancing, shows up, and so now I guess I don't know if if I remember correctly, him and the blonde are dating. Their boyfriend and girlfriend, and he hunts vampires now.
I thought he was with because I know there's
another vampire that actually is who wants to kill him, and I think it might be Judith. So I think Judith does survive, but he did say my girlfriend is a vampire though. You're right. So this throws me off.
Because I know that this story takes place before the Vampire PA miniseries, and that girl from that story is the star of that series.
Isn't that also Judith, who's also friends with Al Capone?
I can't keep this shit straight anymore.
I know, right? Yeah.
Gee, it'd be cool if Zach was paying attention to the show.
I am paying attention to the show. I'm also getting word out about E's stream at 9:30. I'm multitasking.
I see.
But anyway,
we young ones can do that. Maybe not well, but we can do that.
Hey, I met Peter Graves. I asked him if he's ever seen a grown man naked. Oh.
Yikes.
All right, did not know that. Or the visual image.
He told us that on a previous show.
Oh, okay.
We tried to burn that from our memories.
And he just brought it back.
I don't even know who Peter Graves is at this point. So it's kind of like, I guess he's talking to you then. So. If you would have said Peter McNichols, maybe. Number one for the week.
What a surprise!
I know, right? I wonder if, honestly, I'm curious if, I didn't watch Wes, he's done a review yet for this, but I enjoyed this. The only thing that's kind of weird, he's now the tribal chief.
I kind of dig that, actually. I kind of dig that look.
Yeah, he's the chief of the bloodline.
The Samoan tats, the tribal tats.
But I love it because, at this point, it's they don't have call signs, and they mentioned that. He's and Peter's yeah, I really don't have one. It's but he calls Harry. He's well, newspaper calls you Green Goblin. He's you know what? I kind of like Green Goblin, but I love it when they actually go. They go in there, they fight together, and then they get their ass kicked by the Kingpin. But I love it because Harry kind of. I still get that kind of sense whenever Harry would try to team up with Peter and Spider-Man, and he realized he's way over his head, where Peter's more calm and collect in this. In this fight, Peter was, even though he's kind of new at this, was still with his abilities was able to stand more. Of course, we've been waiting for this. We get the reveal. The kids ask him, "What the hell happened to you?" He ends up, the daughter spills the beans. She starts crying because, she I didn't mean to, Dad, really cute scene. And she's also, I didn't realize you're going to get beat up and stuff. And so Mary Jane and him have a talk together. And I love it because instead of freaking out and saying how dare you do this behind my back and blah, 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 you're an asshole. We have kids. How could you do this? You can't be a superhero. She embraces it. She said, "Fuck yeah, let's go for a ride."
The amount of people who are salty or think that's unrealistic that Mary Jane wouldn't be mad or that she would want to argue on Twitter is insane. Like, you guys have obviously never had happy, healthy relationships.
I can see their point, but goddamn, unclench. Enjoy a happy ending.
For real.
I know. I mean, she names him Spider-Man.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, Peter, isn't it obvious you're Spider-Man?"
Yeah, I thought that cool. Was that. I was so happy when I saw that last page.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I said if I just hope that I'm not looking back 6 issues from now when I've dropped the book saying that was the high point.
Yep.
Because it's Marvel, so in fact I said I wouldn't even put it past Marvel to sabotage this book to protect the Amazing Spider-Man numbers, because Marvel's they suck so much at this point. But like I said, but for now everything is fine.
All right, there is another book. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did pick it up because I heard that someone wrote this, that I need to read it, and it turns out he just did a small blurb in it, so he didn't even write the whole book. He just had a short story. Yeah. In fact, it's called Street Fooder by Mr. Aaron Sparrow. Yeah, I know, right?
That is funny though. That is kind of funny.
But this is the cartoony art you're going to expect for this book because it is aimed towards kids.
It's cartoon. I don't know about aimed towards kids. There's a lot.
Well, I mean, it might be aimed towards upper teens, but it's still kind of weird art though.
It's anime art. It's what Street Fighter is. That's just how they roll. Not everything has to be Marco Cicchetto.
I'm surprised you didn't do the AOK sign. Trigger people. But I was flipping through it. It looks okay. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty good.
There's some. Looks like there's some
not enough Chun-Li. I will say there's not enough Chun-Li. Not enough. I don't think there's any Cammy. So that's kind of a. Yeah, there's one good picture of Chun-Li. Credit for one good picture. But then there's.
I thought it was Chun-Li.
Chun-Li. I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it both ways now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But like I said, wait. Okay, that's only 2Ks. I thought there was actually 4Ks there for a second. I got scared. But overall, it's pretty cool. And then so it looks like there's multiple stories here too. Eye to Eye is a 1 page by Matt Moylan and art by Dax Gordine. I guess it's another 4-issue miniseries coming up too, launching in July. So Matthew Weldon doing the art.
Matthew Weldon.
Tim Seeley's going to have his own book coming out.
Less exciting, but okay.
I'm not sure what this is all about. And Friends. Look at that. And Friends. They still are gimmick.
Swimsuit special. Darkstalkers.
Yep. Captain Commando.
That's the other thing. Ever since Marvel and Capcom announced the new collection of fighting games, all of Twitter, if it's not about Peter Parker and Mary Jane, it's Spider-Man and that vampire girl from Darkstalkers. Morgan.
Dang, I saw the girl on the bottom left.
And for all you guys that like that weird foot fetish.
No, why? I don't get that. Oh well.
Which one?
The foot fetish thing. I've never understood that.
It's a weird thing. Thundercats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is that character in the corner with the big booby?
That's a great question.
I have no idea.
Some kind of swimsuit special.
Let me look at it closer.
Look at every disgusting frame of it.
Oh my god!
Twice.
Every disgusting frame.
We're probably not going to have time to do all three of us, so I'm gonna skip my turn. So why don't you go ahead and show the other cool things you got that I also got?
Well,
that I know Zach didn't get because
he's not cool.
He's not.
Well, real quickly, facsimile I got this week. I just realized they were releasing a lot of these in order.
Oh, hey, Puma.
So you're actually getting some stories.
Oh, cool, Adidas.
Yep. My shop got Red Coat. I'll be reviewing that next week.
You son of a... Yeah, I'm mad. My shop didn't get that. I was like so thrilled after I saw Venkman's picture. It's like, yes! And then it's not at my shop. Dang it.
Pharaoh also came out this week.
That's a cool, the 28 Days Later homage. That's a cool zombie movie.
Vampirist Carmilla.
That's kind of a cool cover.
And with a really cool art in the inside. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up becoming like a Vampirella knockoff character. I mean, like basically they actually started just doing stories.
They were starting to do that about 10 issues ago, and then they got away from it again right away.
Maybe they're afraid of being sued.
But they would definitely have to tone her down because she's pretty, balls out evil. And Vampirella,
Well, I hope she doesn't have any balls out.
Kind of was, yeah. No, it's not. It's not Marvel.
Zach did not get this. I know you didn't.
No, because my shop didn't have it. They very rarely get the magazines. I've got a special order.
That
is a cool one.
Nice flip book.
I didn't. Not a second's hesitation to pay for a $25 magazine.
I had no idea what it was. I just grabbed it. Go cool.
You've never gotten alter egos before?
I have, but I mean, I didn't know that was what the price was.
Did you see what the next issue was?
No, I did not.
John Romita tribute.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I do want to show one thing because I don't know if you've
Go for it.
Looked at it yet. But okay, open that up to the back the back of the cover page, and look what's coming out later this year.
Cryptology? Wow.
Check that out. It's like pre-code horror, 50s sci-fi horror stuff. That is going to be awesome.
Doesn't want to zoom in. Oh, or focus. One final thing, and then we can throw Zach to the wolves. Well, the wolves are hungry. They haven't eaten all night.
Oh.
Could not resist. I saw this.
Nor should you have.
Punisher Max. So.
Nice.
Collecting.
Although, the look there, it looks like he has a ponytail. Like, he looks almost like it looks like Steven Seagal as Frank Castle, which kind of ups the cool factor in some ways.
If anything, it looks more like Max Payne.
I can see Max Payne. I can see that.
But, nice book. Nice little binder, bind too. So spine. So looking forward to reading this, popping this open, getting some more. Actually, I might just leave it sealed. I can just go online and read it too.
Yeah, but that's not nearly as edifying as.
But it keeps that book in mint condition.
Are you planning to sell it?
If I ever need to sell books, it's nice to have it in mint condition, isn't it?
That's true. That's true. Good point.
Yeah. So go, Zach, go.
Go, Zach, go. Zach got 4 books this week. Zach had a light week because my shop didn't get Red Coat. Son of a bitch. I'm upset about that. I
gotta snap it to a Slim Jim.
Didn't get G.I. Joe Real American Hero 307 either, so that was upsetting. Upsetty Spaghetti was my name. I did get the Street Fighter Masters Game Gals.
It's the third time I've heard that. I heard it twice last night.
No, barely any Chun-Li and almost no Laura Matsuda. But other than that, it was entertaining. It was amusing enough. I'm not expecting Brubaker quality storytelling. It's cute girls fighting each other. I mean, what do you want?
Zach?
Sir?
I never want to hear the term upsetty spaghetti again, unless you somehow become a cute girl. Are we clear?
Like totes. Oh my gosh.
No, I will never do that.
You might as well.
Totes my goats.
Next up is Destro #1. This was actually, I think this was better than Scarlet. I think I kind of like the character of Destro a little bit more than Cobra Commander, actually. He's basically Tony Stark if Tony Stark was evil, and also crazy enough to think that he was talking with his Scottish ancestors. But yeah, it was really cool. You also get to see the 2 twins They're they get an introduction in here, kind of ruthless, threat analysis that they have. But yeah, this is him. I was curious how they were going to do this with Cobra Commander, because he's the leader of a company. Cobra Commander is leading, and so how the two leaders kind of clash. It's really interesting to see. I really enjoyed it. This next one was actually difficult. I have trouble picking the number one spot from these two because they're both very good. And I don't want to copy Vinkman, but I think I have to. This was almost the number one book. Because seeing Jimmy Olsen get the powers of Mr. Pitlick was incredible. That's what I want. I want another Jimmy Olsen book with that level of humor and imagination. Dang it. It was also cool seeing Batmite take Batman and Superman, where they're seeing themselves in the past and the future. That was cool. Of course, Dan Mora's art was great. Just really a fun book. I mean, doggone it, man. What's that?
I was going to say, it's 2 issues that are fully centered around Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. I love it, though. Jimmy needs to be the third member. Forget Robin, right? We need to have Jimmy Olsen be the sidekick that follows them around. Also, I give this a pass because it's Dan Mora's artwork, and it does look
Josh
pretty.
Limson's got a tie into that, but I'm like...
Who doesn't? Jeremy Adams is writing one of these.
I know.
I mean, everybody's involved.
But it makes fun too.
So, it is a lot of fun. It is a neat cliffhanger too at the end, because Batman and Superman make it back to the regular dimension, and Batman's like, "I have a plan," and it ends on a cliffhanger. That's all I will say.
Is Galaxy and Hawkgirl going to be in one of those books?
I hear myself.
No, that's the guy behind you.
Interesting.
Why is your door open?
My door's always open. You can't even see my door, though.
You sure about that?
Yeah, there's no door.
That looks just like the Scream mask.
I'm confused.
See, when that day actually does happen, Zach you won't even notice until it's...
I won't.
Zach's like, that deal never happened because unless it's me walking through somebody else's window door.
No, see, if somebody walks through this door, they're going to get
But tidbit information about that
book. Face.
But really cool fact, quick fact about Scream, she actually dialed 911 by accident during the outtakes.
Oof.
So they had to tell their, we're filming a movie. They didn't mean to call 911.
This is the number one, though, of the week. Jimmy Olsen is great, but Peter Parker and Mary Jane together beat out Jimmy Olsen for the number one spot. I had that the other day. Code Red.
Cold. Refreshing.
The bottle,
great.
though.
It's Mountain Dew.
This was fun. I liked all of this. I like the Peter and Harry staking out Kingpin's place, and Kingpin's like, I've known you were out there for the last 2 weeks. Kingpin clearly being a alpha predator, whatever you want to call him. I just like the faces that Marco Cicchetto does too. I don't think I really paid attention too much to his face work with Daredevil, but just seeing the faces, especially how expressive the kids' faces are, it's just really, really cool. And then, there's the whole thing about Peter Parker, about him not having a code name. Mary Jane ends up giving him the name, which I thought was really neat. You see Spider-Man trying to do the wise quips with Kingpin. Just so much goodness in this. I like little May's face right there. Just so fun. It's so much fun. This. I mean, just the whole, just that right there. That right there. I'm sorry if Dan Slott is upset that Ultimate Spider-Man is outselling Amazing or his little Spider Boy that nobody talks about, but this is what the people want. So that's my list.
This is my most favorite book since The Flash with Jeremy Adams on it.
Yep. I'm not really sorry that Dan Slott is upset. That was me being facetious.
Do you have any back issues?
No back issues. My back is fully 100% healed.
I guess I will run through mine then.
Yeah, go ahead. You got time.
I do.
It's time.
Time to get breened
for the main event. Enough talk.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 6, Elvira. This series was just kind of there, and it was, as I said yesterday, it seemed like it was just an excuse for David Avalone to virtue signal to the 12 Psychos on Twitter that H.P. Lovecraft is bad, Terra bad still. But the next series, Elvira is going to meet Betty Page.
Right.
Hopefully they'll get a good writer, but if not, I'll probably still check it out. Number 5, Gun Honey. Yeah, we talked about that, so that's number 4 was Chilling Adventures Presents Judgment Day. Archie's like a crazed hunter of monsters who has the voice in his head is like an evil version of him, and he and Jughead are eating at Pop Tate's, and Pop Tate serves their food and then says, I'm going to go get my dinner. Then he shows up a couple pages later as like a crazed monster trying to eat Archie and Jughead. It doesn't go well, but that's part 2 of 3. It's kind of a fun series. Aubrey Sitterson, when he's not trying to fight with conservatives on Twitter, isn't a terrible writer. And then number 3 was James Bond. We talked about that. Number 2 was Al Capone.
Nice.
And of course, number 1 was Ultimate Spider-Man. And like I said, it's going to be hard for anything to knock this out of number 1 on the week where it comes out. It's just,
yeah.
Like I said, it's
the new Flash. It's the new Flash.
It's giving fans what they want. And sorry, Dan, that is what people want. And like I said, I also got Vampir's Carmilla. Also got Back Issue and Alter Ego. Like I said, these I have. Yeah, this is Avengers 141. This is, I think, DC Special 3, maybe. Have them both. Love them. So yeah, and then they also released Retro Fan, which if you're my age, this magazine is squarely aged at my age group. It's a lot of fun. And then I didn't get to show this last week, but I did pick up Web of Horror last week.
Nice.
And if you're still watching Geeky, yes, I did get this. I read the first issue. It's comparable to Creepy and Eerie. I know they were hyping it up. They said it was better. I didn't see where it was clearly better, but I do have. From what I read the foreword, and they said that each issue got better than the one prior. I'll know soon enough when I finish the other 2 issues, and then there was the unpublished 4th issue is also included in that, which is always cool to see something that doesn't exist, like the comics cavalcade from DC after the implosion. There were a lot of books that were either in various stages, whether it's like loose pencils to completely finished, because we got the Joker omnibus has the unreleased Joker number 10 where he fights the Justice League.
Wow.
And those are always fun to see because it's like little pieces of comics history that you didn't know existed. So
yeah.
I mean, Joker hadn't done anything with the Justice League. It's like Zach and I watched the Justice League cartoon growing up, and they did deal with the Joker as one of the things, and it was just kind of funny because like Batman's the only one that knows the Joker, and the other ones are like, it's just a clown. It's a guy in a hill. It's like idiots. I love when people underestimate him because like it's not their villain, so they have no idea. And they're like, Batman's just mean.
The Joker was a fun series, but there were rules for comics at the time. The bad guy couldn't win.
Yeah.
So he had basically every issue ended with him either getting locked back up or soundly defeated.
Yeah.
But that it was still fun, and as I said, so unfortunately I said, good grief, tomorrow's released $47 worth of books, and that doesn't include. I don't know if like Kirby Collector or Comic Artist came out yesterday too. But
I did see Kirby Collector, but I don't know if I don't look at them, so I don't know.
Well, if I'd noticed it, I might have bought it because it has the Spider-Man cover, and there aren't that many, drawings of Spider-Man by Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
But like I said, Tomorrow's is the best. They produce the best material for old-time collectors or people trying to learn about the industry and its history. And I said, I can't recommend them enough. I mean, they're not obviously not for everybody because they're pretty much on a shoestring budget. But I said, anybody that likes that kind of stuff, it's better than Wizard ever dreamt of being. And it's a lot of fan presses throughout the years, like Comic Reader and things like that. But
yeah,
these are just really, really well done.
It's comic behind the scenes on how things are created, and with interviews with either the writers, or artists, or just talking about them. And it's something. It's like a documentary, but in print, and it's not done by Disney.
No, and
so you're getting the actual real stuff. It's not skewed to let's interview this person.
Yeah, Alter Ego did an issue dedicated to Don Perlin about a year ago.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Don Perlin he's not somebody you immediately think of when you think of all-time greats, but he had a 50, 60-year career, and he told a story. He goes, he was at a show once, and somebody asked him to sign something of his, and he did. And he goes, so how much do you think I can get for it on eBay now? And he goes, probably nothing, because I just wrote all over the cover. So, I mean, he had a good sense of humor about himself. And he died about 6 months after that came out. So at least he lived long enough to see the issue. The
Don Perlin, I think of Werewolf by Night.
He co-created Werewolf by Night. That's
what I think of. Yeah. So I also think of that issue with Moon Knight in there, and those two issues.
But a lot of the older Alter Ego issues, there'll be in-depth articles about people that you have to be Paulo to have heard of. I mean, some even I don't know.
And I like that because there's just so many artists and writers that don't get talked about because they weren't the big ones. They weren't the Claremonts. They weren't the John Byrnes. They weren't the Gerald Ways. They were guys who maybe come in and maybe did a cover or helped. Like when I look at sometimes I do the cover artists when I'm scheduling the readings. There's 3 names on there, but obviously you're looking at John Romita Sr. and you're looking at and who that's the main whoever or it's Kirby. You don't really look at the inker or the colorist. So, I like learning about the colorist sometimes too, because sometimes they have interesting stories.
Yeah, Jackson, I think you are right about that. I think he did do some time in the Defenders, and obviously his credits go back to the Golden Age, and did work for Charlton.
Yeah,
might have even done some for Gold Key, but I did see him. I did see his name in the credits in a Charlton story that I read recently. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, they're great. Source material for learning about the hobby, and it's.
I was at my shop today. I sold some books. I sold majority of my World's Finest. The first cover that I'm going through because I'm just trying to make room because I'm collecting those in trades.
Yeah, that's fair. That's something I've been thinking about doing too, like stuff that I can get in trades or omnibuses even.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about doing.
Back in the day, they weren't really doing omnibuses. The omnibuses weren't really frequently coming out, but now they are.
Yeah.
So for certain things, if I see it comes out of the omnibus, I'm kind of just selling my issues and just getting the omnibus. Like Super Sons. I thought about collecting that individual trades, but I'm like, if it's gonna be all collected in one thing,
I can't find any fault in anybody doing that for books that came out in the last 15 years.
Oh
yeah,
honestly,
yeah. Because go ahead.
I was gonna say the World's Finest. Remember they had those 125 covers with the slap where Robin's, Batman slap Robin, where Batman slapped Superman. I sold those, and I sold basically 1 through 25 is what I sold, and then I sold a few other books. I ended up walking with $80 Now you think about it, I probably paid $4 per issue coming out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good turnaround.
I mean, so I mean, it's decent, but I mean,
Yeah.
I probably if he paid me full price for them, I probably would have a lot more. But
yeah.
Jackson just pointed out that Tomorrow's is having a $5 sale on their back issues. Now, I know a lot of them are sold out and only available digitally, but that would be worth checking into. I mean, I have most of any back issue that I don't have is not available in print, but for people just getting into it, that would be worth checking out because $5 is a pretty good deal on those.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind digital sometimes. I mean, I do like having physical, but I'll say this way. I don't want to turn up my great aunt. She had a stack of this collecting of magazines that she had. It was just it was stacks and stacks and stacks. I mean, hoarding level stacks. So I'm thinking about if I start getting all these physical prints for these back issues. I mean, in fact, I love the fact they're digital. I have a 27-inch flat screen monitor that's big enough where I can zoom in and look at the print. To me, that's much more fun, and I have like 3 terabytes of data. So I mean, I can if I need to. And I don't know if it's something like I can download to my thing, or if it's something I can only access like their website. Comixology. That's the library there. You have to go to that site, Amazon, to read them. But I mean, that's kind of cool because I mean, there are back issues I was looking at that came out like years ago, and I'm thinking like, oh man, I would have loved to read this. And I'm thinking Brain might have them.
By the way, if you needed an excuse to get this retro fan, look next to the logo.
I know the Hostess and Twinkie stuff.
The heyday of Hostess.
Yes. Also, Lindsay Wagner, she's hot. I'm sorry, she didn't know Anne Hathaway.
No, I wasn't thinking of Anne Hathaway. You know who I was thinking of because I've been watching
Michelle Pfeiffer because she's hot.
No, I've been watching a lot of Taxi recently. So Mary Lou Henner is who I was thinking of.
Well, Lindsay Wagner she had that girl next door look.
See?
Yeah, like Linda Carter was just like, she was like, movie star, beauty pageant winner looks. But Lindsay Wagner just looked like the cute girl next door.
Yeah, but Mary Lou Henner could have been Mary Jane if Spider-Man had a movie in the 70s or 80s.
You get a big delight in every bite of Lindsay Wagner? Not anymore.
I don't know about it anymore.
Might be a little bit leathery now.
Well, she still does a lot of shows, and she'll do occasionally. She and Lee Majors will end up at the same one, and that's.
Do you know who's aging really nice? Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, she is.
I didn't realize she was an MTV host.
Oh yeah, she was like way back in the day.
She's early 50s now, so it's not like she's old.
No, she's only
no. But I mean, like some women end up looking a Crypt Creeper when they get in their 50s.
Oh yeah, well yeah, she was.
Some women do, but I mean,
smoking and alcohol, and they just just like Terry Hatcher. It was cute, and then I think she's down in her 60s now.
Late 50s, I think.
Late 50s. She doesn't look too hot as she. I mean, I think the last time she was hot, or at least to me personally, was when she was in Desperate Housewives, and even then, you could tell her she was starting to get a little bit anorexic. I don't know what it was, but maybe who knows. But hey,
well, she's 59, so it's
yeah. Desperate Housewives was like 5 years ago. No, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah,
closer to that. Yeah,
but. Eric thinks that anyone younger than 85 is still young. That one we just talked about that one.
Not too far off.
The one that was on, I think it was in Dallas. What is the one you're talking about? The blonde that's still
Donna Mills.
Donna Mills,
and I think she was Knots Landing.
Yeah, I can see. When I say woof, yeah. No, she's honestly, she's good. She's good looking, If I need a sugar grandma, sure. But anyway, no one wants to hear about me making it with a 83-year-old woman.
Nobody.
Cougar. But, that's it.
That's it.
I think we've covered it all there, gentlemen.
Yeah. from Anne Hathaway to Donna Mills, to Michelle Pfeiffer to
Miranda. Her character, I don't think had been created. What's her name? Joan Van Ark was in Dallas with Ted Shackelford's whatever Gary Ewing, and they created Donna Mills' role to spice up Knots Landing a couple seasons in.
Hey, you want to hear something that is really cool about Michelle Pfeiffer that's better than Anne Hathaway? Michelle Pfeiffer actually took that whip and hit the mannequins' heads off on the first try.
Okay.
They didn't need no stunt, did you? So,
Anthony Hopkins used a whip and put out the flames to a whole bunch of candles in Zorro.
I'm not gonna argue between Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway because there's something about Anne Hathaway that I think is really, really hot. What I can't understand is not seeing that in Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, I said that, son, we're going to have a talk at some point. I'm just saying.
You need to go on the Springer show.
Jerry.
We're going to find out he secretly has a crush on Michelle Pfeiffer this whole entire time. He's been lying to us.
No. Not likely.
No.
Well, you'd have a better chance of being on the Springer show than Springer would at this point.
He might spring break.
He might spring back.
That too. Anyway, if you haven't done so, please click like, do all that stuff. I noticed we only had like 5 likes and like 13 people were watching time. I was like, come on.
What are y'all doing? No, I'm just kidding.
You can only click like, helps with the algorithm. If you can, don't make Wraith be the only one leaving a comment down in the comment section. Go leave a comment. So it helps the algorithm, helps us get pushed out to the other people. As far as let them experience a Geeky Puppet Show. Let them be burdened, just like you are. That being said, thank you all. Subscribe. Do all that fun stuff that's down, scrolling on there. Go find a link, super chat. And we'll see you tomorrow. For Defenders, I believe it's issue number... Did we do number 9?
It's Defenders 10 and Avengers 118.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, yeah.
But if you don't want to wait till tomorrow, you can see us. Probably all 3 of us will be over at I Love Comics.
Yes, we will in a few minutes.
Yeah.
What are we ranking tonight?
It's
on Infinite Earths.
Yes. Covers.
Man, we're gonna be there forever.
I thought it was George Perez in general. Is it just Crisis?
It's just Crisis.
Okay.
I thought it's ranking on Infinite covers.
God, I hope it's not Infinite.
It's just going to feel like it. So get a hold of Amy and Melissa. These aren't too scary for them. Already, unless Mike's doing a drawing thing.
They might be busy on Thursday nights.
No. Oh yeah, Thursdays they have the other drawing competition, right?
Well, Chester Lesby, I think it is.
Chester, yeah, the fan edition. Yeah.
I mean, you're in Mike's. Do you need really go back to Chester? They already made
both,
it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's like a community thing. I don't know.
All right, well,
a charity thing.
Charity thing.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, Pa.
Good night,
Good night, Grandpa. Hit the end stream button now.